Rich people hired chemical cleaners to clean their golf courses to keep them snow-free even in winter. A day after the spraying, guard Dan collects many things to survive the apocalypse, as he believes that this day will come soon. His daughter Patricia works at the same golf club. After one of the games, chemicals began to seep into the water pipes. Actor Jacques drinks the contaminated water and goes to the store. There, all fruits and vegetables are washed with tap water. Jacques starts to feel sick, but he doesn't think anything of it. Only upon arriving home does he become a zombie and bite his wife. New zombies are appearing all over the city. Even the dog became one of them. Michelle and the rich man lock themselves in the house, but the dog manages to run into the house and bites the owner, immediately turning him into a zombie. Michelle runs to the kitchen, where she arms herself with everything she can get her hands on. At this time, in the city, an elderly woman called Dan because her neighbors were very loud. He arrives at the given address, but then an elderly woman, already turned into a zombie, runs up to him from behind. Dan locks himself in the car and tries to call for help, but no one answers. Fearing that the apocalypse has begun, he takes his car and goes in search of his daughter. In the dead of night, in a rich family, a woman becomes a zombie. The boy Andre runs out of the house but accidentally slips, and a moment before elimination, Dan comes to the rescue. Andre tries to help his mother, but Dan explains that emergency services have stopped communicating, and he needs to lock himself in the house right now. Suddenly, new zombies appear, but Andre still saves the woman. The entire island was completely cordoned off. The police installed a fence on the only bridge. A boy locks his mother in the bathtub. The shower leaks a little and the monster sits under the drops. Little sister Annie crying loudly, and Andre does everything possible to make the crying quieter. A couple of hours later, the cat returns to the house, but it is not aggressive. Dan arrives at the golf club, and there are a couple of zombies standing in front of the entrance. But this is not a problem, because he masterfully eliminates every one of them. Military planes fly over and destroy the bridge, thereby completely cutting off power to the entire island. As a new day dawns, Annie's babysitter notices a bridge that has collapsed. On the internet, the Minister of Public Security states that they had to destroy the bridge to save the entire country. The phone goes dead, and Andre opens the bathroom door. He doesn't notice Annie crawling inside, and to avoid being eaten, he has to lure the woman outside, who accidentally knocks off the leg of the TV stand, causing her to die. Andre no longer wants to hide in the house, which is why he arms himself with a golf club and sets the zombies on the cat, while he himself runs away to the supermarket. The door turns out to be locked, and there were too many zombies. Suddenly, Dan saves the boy, dragging him inside. Over the past night, he had completely explored the island. All the boats were gone, and his daughter Patricia was infected, but he hopes people can find a cure. Meanwhile, Michelle barricaded the golf club and contacted the corporation. They ask him to follow protocol. The radio show host blames bioterrorists for this incident. The presenter tries to get answers from the Minister of Public Affairs, but he avoids answering in every possible way. Dan called the radio station and said that there were still survivors on the island. The presenter replies that the remnants of humanity are afraid of infection, so he needs strong arguments to take sides. After which, Dan and Andre want to find the reason for the appearance of the zombie. Dan believes that the virus is in the water. After all, he doesn't drink water, and as you can see, everything is fine with him. Closer to morning, the trio leaves the building. While the zombies are basking in the rays of the sun, the group carefully makes its way through the crowd of monsters and hits the gas. At this time, the armed twins arrive at the golf club and eliminate all the zombies who attack them. Michelle burns all the documents except the ampoule with the green substance. The twins brought capsules of medicine that should destroy the infection within 24 hours. But Michelle was not included in this plan, and the twins feed him a green substance. Well, Trinity arrives at the water treatment plant. A grassy zombie sits in the water. Patricia runs to jump into the tank. Dan tries to pull his daughter out, but a zombie emerges from under the water, but does not attack Dan since he is hiding behind Patricia. He's much more interested in Andre. The boy runs out into the street and hides in the car. A couple of minutes later, Dan appears. He uses Patricia as a human shield and gets into the car. Dan finds it strange that all the zombies have grass growing on them. And then it dawns on him that the golf club began testing a substance for greening the fields. All because of this. There, the twins began spraying white gas. After unlocking the door to the club and locking the Patricia in a closet, the duo begin to explore the building. Dan starts to feel sick, but he goes down to the basement anyway, where gas cylinders were placed everywhere, and there was a countdown on the device. With the last of his strength, Dan stops the timer and turns into a zombie. The twins do not understand why the golf club did not explode and return back. They find Annie and feed her the virus. A couple of minutes later, Andre finds his sister and takes her with him. The twins go out to see the duo, and moments before being fed the virus, the sister bites the girl. Dan comes running and attacks the twin. Andre accidentally steps on a white capsule, and the smoke begins to penetrate the bodies of the infected. A couple of hours later, the military flies to the island to begin a complete cleanup. Andre runs to the military, but another survivor emerges from the forest. The military immediately eliminates him, and the sister begins to heal. At this time, Dan is completely cured, but the military that arrives doesn't care and kills the man and his daughter. Andre sees a boat in the river. It turns out that there was a nanny there who, of course, saves children. At this time on TV, the minister announces that the infection has been localized, after which he drinks tea from a mug with the logo of the bio organization. And this means he was involved in this from the very beginning. That's the end of the film. See you very soon. Bye.